Are you going to talk to me yet? Or just keep staring solemnly into the fire? Don't get me wrong, it's a good look for you. The whole damaged goods kind of thing. Rugged and rough around the edges, just needing that little bit of TLC to bring you out your shell. Yes, shut up. That's about the only thing you've said to me so far. You're getting predictable. Really now, it's not every day that I allow myself to be captured. So the least I'd expect from my lucky captor is a little bit of conversation. Why yes, allowed myself to be captured. I mean, you can't honestly believe that you outsmarted the elusive fox when you charged into his camp with that little stick of steel in your hand. No, I am exactly where I want to be. Well, at least I thought I was. You seemed like more fun than the other group, anyway. Why yes, the other group. The other group of mercenaries out hunting me. 4 in total, actually, last I checked. You'd all formed a nice little ring around my camp. It was just a case of picking who to go with. And of course, a little childish part of me wanted to draw you all into the same clearing and pit you against each other, but, well, that just wouldn't sit right. After all, cunning, why yes I am, devious in spades. But I'm not one for thoughtless bloodshed, even if it would guarantee a quick and safe exit for myself. No, that's not how I play. No, I decided to adapt my approach. To tilt the scales and move my camp a little closer to one of the interested parties, ensuring that I am swept up, bound in chains and carted away before any other group catches my scent. And voila, the perfect ending. Everyone gets what they need. Perhaps not what they want, but what they need. Everyone walks away. Some happier than others. But I suppose that's life, isn't it? Not everyone can get what they want. For example, I'm sure that every other group that was after me would have wanted to have me before them in chains, helpless, begging for mercy, entirely at their whim. And I just want some decent conversation. I guess none of us are getting what we want. Except you. Yes, and you look oh so happy about it. If I'd known you were going to be so bloody ungrateful, I would have chosen the other group. I made sure they were a little bit, manic. Barbarians and such, you know, furs, axes, tattoos, shaved heads, and that's just the women. And whilst I'm sure they would be more fun, I do bruise easily, and the kind of activities that they seem to get up to pass the time, well, they would make even the most cosmopolitan of bards blush. Perhaps if I were younger, and, you know, more flexible. No, I would rather take your stoic exterior and oh so fuzzy nature over their eccentric treatment of themselves and each other, which frankly borders on animalistic. But to each their own. I'm sure you have many a skeleton in your closet. I mean, who knows? Perhaps deep down underneath that hard, cold exterior is just a little child banging on the closet door to get out. Oh, come on. What does a man have to do to get a response out of you? Well, if you're not going to entertain me, can I at least get something to eat? I mean, if you truly plan to march me to a headsman's axe tomorrow morning, then at least let me spend my final evening with a full stomach. Ah, thank you. You are truly a good soul. I'm glad I picked you, you know. I could tell from a distance that you were someone of virtue and substance and morality and a sense of all that is good and hope. What is that? Oh no, I know that you believe it to be food, but that doesn't answer my question. What is it? Salted beef. Charming. Tell me, do you have any food in that pack that is suitable for human consumption? No, don't take it back. I will make do, I suppose. It's an interesting texture. And it's very salty. Gods above, there's not an inch of moisture left in my body. I don't suppose you have anything to wash it down with. In fact, better not ask that in case you bring out a satchel of donkey's urine or whatever foul concoctions that you pair with this meat. And what is this? Water. Like from a stream water, not harvested from the liver of some dying bird. Well, I don't know. You've certainly set the tone with that, whatever that food was. No. I'll have the water. I will take your word for it. Better. Thank you. Well, as far as last meals go, I've had better. You know, I was in a prison in the southern marshes, what, 6 months ago? I was sentenced to death, you know, a mock trial that was over before it began, that kind of thing. For the last meal, they had the royal chef come down, and he said that despite my crimes, they believed it was a mortal sin to send a man to the next life without a full stomach. They said they would give me anything I liked for my final meal. And so I dined on venison, on exotic meats, cheeses, wine that was just crimson gold. It was immaculate. I was almost sorry to leave. I actually tried to return a few weeks later to be captured again, and when I was brought before them I asked, "So, any chance of a final meal?" Of course they realised that I was playing them for fools. They waived that right, saying that they'd already fulfilled it. I was particularly bitter about that when I left. Stole the chef's hat. The king's underwear too. And on the way out, a pair of them may have accidentally worked their way up the top of the flagpole on their castle. fairly certain that my bounty tripled that day. Well worth it though. Oh dear. So what? So I gave some pompous fat oaf the runaround. Put his tighty whities on display for the world to see. Took him down a peg. It's not like he didn't need it. All these kings and royals and nobles, these god-righteous men with sticks up their arse so long that you could mount a flag from it. Judging everyone from their ivory towers, holding them to a moral standard that they themselves flaunt and rarely follow. At least not behind closed doors. And people like you are exactly the reason why they get away with what they get away with. Because you don't challenge them on their shit. You don't call them out on their bad behaviour, because you believe the lie that they've spun to you, that they're better than you are. It's a big joke. That's why I'm on the receiving end of these chains, you know. Why I'm so infamous. Not for what I've stolen, but purely because I don't respect them. I don't revere or fear or worship or excuse them, and that makes me dangerous. An unknown quantity. I represent everything they despise. Autonomy. Free thought. I might as well be a giant red warning sign, spelling the end of their reign. Of course, that's far too long to fit onto a wanted poster, so they simply brand me thief. But the truth of why I do what I do is so much more than that 5-letter word. You see, I take my playbook straight from the stories of old. I steal from the rich and give to the poor. Taking a small premium for myself, but then again, who doesn't charge for the services they render? Blacksmiths do, guards do, alchemists, butchers, farmers, hell, you, for one. So the kings, taxes they call them. One big service charge for just sitting on top of a chair and looking regal. But what I do is wrong. Right, okay. So that's the game we're playing. Morals. Fun. So tell me then, bounty hunter, what makes you the moral authority? I mean, after all, I'm sure you've taken some questionable bounties in your life. Some people that maybe just weren't quite guilty of the crimes they were sentenced for. Some who perhaps didn't quite deserve what was waiting for them when you brought them back. How many pleading voices did you ignore? How many nagging feelings of doubt did you suppress? How many people have you wrongly sentenced to imprisonment or death? All for a few coins. You see, the people I steal from, they can afford to lose what I take. It's a drop in the ocean, a damn near victimless crime. But you end lives. You end families. You end businesses, relationships, possibilities. Marriages will never happen because of the people you've imprisoned. Children will never be born. Grandchildren. Entire lineages wiped out for a few hundred gold. I hope it was worth it. To be standing there where you are now, staring deeply into a fire and casting stones at someone with far less blood on their hands than you. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a thief. Oh, come on, you big sourpuss. I'm trying to make conversation. I mean, after all, if we can't have these hard conversations, these tough talks about moral issues, then how are we ever going to bond? You don't need to bond with me, you say. And why's that? Because tomorrow I'll be swinging from some gallows somewhere, or I'll be on my knees with my head rolling around staring at my arse, parted by a headsman's axe. No, I'm afraid not. You see, you are right about one thing. After tomorrow, I shan't be here. But you won't find me rotting in some shallow dug grave, or withering in some dank dungeon, being put on display for nobles to gawk and point and jest. No. You'll find me on a beach in the Eastern Isles, sipping brandy and being fed grapes by foreign beauties, eagerly planning my next job, and laughing as I regale said beauties with the interesting case of the sellsword with a conscience, the walking paradox who was oh so close to catching me, but ultimately, when the cards were down, they dropped the ball, and I escaped. Oh, I like you. You are unshakable. God, it's like I don't even faze you. I mean, normally even the most stoic of torturers or guards, they go mad after just listening to me waffle on about pointless shit for a few minutes, but you've taken both barrels for, what, half an hour now? More? And you haven't even looked away from the fire. Maybe you are the one. The one destined to bring me in. To catch the fox. I think I'd be alright with that. You know? With my story, my tale, my legend ending with you. You'd make a fine final chapter in my book. No, I'm serious for once. I respect you, sellsword. I do. You, in spite of your profession, seem like a good person. A character trait that's so rare in this world that I can't help but find it somewhat alluring, intoxicating. And I feel that maybe, somewhere deep down, you find something interesting about me. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, no one has to know. I won't tell a soul. And I'll be dead tomorrow, so you could have your way with me, and it would be a victimless crime. Come on, seriously? Who chains their keys to their hips? Just use a string like any other normal person. Ugh. It's infuriating. Oh, boo-hoo. So I flirted with you a little to try and get away. And I would have done it too if you weren't so bloody paranoid. Oh, yes, I'm sure you have a plethora of lovely things to call me, but frankly I don't give a shit. I'm going to bed. Wake me up when we're doing my final march in the morning.